Hello everybody. So last week in English we were writing our warning tale and we wrote our own version of the Pirate Cruncher. That was our fiction text and we finished that now. So we're moving on to a new unit this week and it's our non-fiction unit, and it's specifically we're looking at discussion texts this week and next week. So before we start, we need to have a think about those words, fiction and non-fiction. Have you heard those before? Do you know what they mean? Pause the video and have a chat with your grown-up or whoever else is there with you, or just have a think on your own. What does fiction mean? What does non-fiction mean? Right, okay, hopefully you thought about the fact that last week we were looking at a story, weren't we? Somebody made that story up, the Pirate Cruncher, and that is fiction. So this week and next we're looking at non-fiction. That's texts or books that have facts in about real things, that are telling us things that help us learn. So let's have a look. I've got a few different pictures of some books here at the bottom. What I want you to do is have a look at them and try and decide which ones are fiction, are stories that somebody's made up, which ones are non-fiction and have facts in them that help us learn. Again, pause the video and have a think or chat with whoever you're with. Right, okay, so hopefully you paused the video and had a chat, and I'm going to move the books around now and you can see if you got them right. So as we said earlier, the Pirate Cruncher we were looking at yesterday is fiction. Johnny Duddle made up that story and wrote it down for us to read. Dogger was the very first story we looked at back in September, and that's also fiction. Shirley Hughes wrote that and came up with the character of Dogger. Here I've got a book on transport. You might have read a book a bit like this for your English writing just before Christmas when you were writing about different types of transport. It's got lots of facts in it, so it's non-fiction. And then I've got a book here about the ocean and all the different animals that live in the ocean. That's also full of facts, so it's non-fiction. And then here's a book that I'm sure a lot of you have read, The Gruffalo. That is fiction. Julia Donaldson wrote that story and came up with the character of the Gruffalo and the mouse and the fox all by herself. So that's her imagination. And then finally, I've got another non-fiction book here about how flowers grow. So that book is full of facts about flowers and is teaching us how flowers grow. Well done, give yourself a pat on the back if you've spotted those and thought about putting them in the right category. Well done. So let's move on, shall we? So as I said, we're going to do a discussion text this week. We're going to look at one I've written, and then next week we're going to have a go at writing your own discussion text. We need to have a think about that word discussion. Have you heard it before? Do you know what it means? Again, pause the video, have a think or a chat with your grown-up, whoever's in the room, about what you think the word discussion means. Right, so hopefully you've had a chat and you've come up with something along these lines. I've got this at the online dictionary. The act or an instant of talking or writing about something. So if you're discussing something, you've got a topic and different people have different views or different ideas or knowledge about a subject. So one person will say something about a topic, the other person will build on that or disagree with that, and they'll have a discussion, they'll have a chat. So there's more than one person involved, and it's a topic that you can say different things about, and you're having that chat, sharing ideas and discussing the topic in question. So well done if you came up with something along those lines. You might not have said this exact wording, but as long as you got that idea there was more than one person involved, different views, and they're sharing ideas and talking about a topic. So, right, what do we need to know about discussion texts before we be able to write one ourselves? Let's have a think. What makes a good discussion text? Or before that, you could have a think about what makes good writing at all. So there are certain things, aren't there, we need to remember no matter what we're writing. And then there are specific things we need to remember when we're writing a discussion text, which we will be doing next week. So again, pause this video, have a think what makes good writing no matter what writing we're doing, and then considering the fact that we've spoken about fiction, non-fiction, having a discussion, what do you think we need to remember when we're doing our discussion text? Okay, well, hopefully everybody came up with the first things, because no matter what we're talking about and what we're writing, we have to remember our capital letters, our finger spaces, our punctuation like full stops, and our Fred talk to help us spell the words, don't we? So everybody should have hopefully come up with those 4. And then when we're writing our discussion text, obviously we need a good topic to talk about, don't we? We need to decide what it is that we're going to be discussing in our writing. We then need to give our text a title, and this is normally a question based on our topic. Then we start off our writing with a bit of an introduction to that topic. What is it that we're going to be writing about and why? And then, as we said, if we're going to have a discussion, we need to be able to chat to somebody. We're sharing ideas, aren't we? So there's got to be at least 2 viewpoints there. And then in our discussion text, we're also going to look at conjunctions here. Have a think. Can you remember what conjunctions are? We have spoken about them before. Right, hopefully you've remembered that they are words that help us join ideas together in our sentences. So words like and, but, or, because. Okay, so we're hopefully going to see lots of those in my example discussion text and in your own one next week. Right, so let's have a think about my discussion text. Okay, so our discussion text that we're going to be looking at this week has got a geography focus, because our topic has been all about pirates, hasn't it? And in our topic lessons, we've been learning about the world, about its climate, about the continents and the seas. So we're going to use that as our base for our discussion text. And our discussion text is, should people travel all over the world for holidays? And here's my introduction to that text. It says, in recent years, there has been lots of discussion about whether people should go abroad for a holiday or take holidays closer to home. There are many different views on this topic, and it is important to discuss all points before making a decision. So the rest of my discussion text, the one that I want you to be looking at this week and exploring, is in your pack. So you can read the whole of that text later. And there is also in your pack the text map with all the drawings to help you learn it. And after watching this video, I want you to go and have a look at that text and the map, and then watch the second video, which has got all the actions for these pictures to help you learn the text. Because if we can learn this one and pick it apart and identify all those important elements, we'll then be able to write your own one next week. So there you go. Go and have a look at that. Read the whole of my text with your grown-up and watch that second video. Okay, so good luck, and I'll see you all later.